Welcome to TerryWilson3.com, the show committed to helping you grow, protect, and enjoy your money, business, and life.
Wanted to get with you. This is really something that seems to be scratching a lot of itches, and it looks like it's pretty lucrative.
Well, it's one of the best business decisions that I've made, becoming a rep.
My intent now is being in that call center is letting people know this is the real deal. You will make money, and you don't have to have a product to promote. Just get in that call center and take calls, read a script. You will make money.
I started my own personal business 10 days ago. On Friday, I have my first 2 sales come through, and I have more pending. You do the activity, you take the time, you talk to the people.
You will make money.
I am in love with it. I don't know any other way to put it.
I really appreciate all the value you give. It's a lot, man. I look up to you a lot. You're kind of a leader in an industry where there's lots of BS.
And by the way, I love your swag. This is the Terry Wilson. Really? I'm excited, Terry. All right, I want to get started here.
Christopher B. This is Terry Wilson, and you are listening to our podcast here at TerryWilson3.com. Who are you going to punch in the face?
Nobody. Nobody.
Reagan has a problem with one of our developers, it sounds like. What did you say?
Reading's essential. Just read the instructions.
Oh my goodness, to deal with some of these guys that work from home, these teenagers that we pay to do some of this tech stuff for us. Reagan's over here just feverishly
I had to send him a text. Okay, I'm here now.
You're here now.
I'm 100% locked in, ready to go.
Well, it's a Monday night at a little past 9 p.m. and we're just hanging out here at our lovely home office here in upstate of
New York.
New York. I wish sometimes. No, they got hit by what is it called? A nor'easter? Did you see the news? Like 9 people died up there because it's like a hurricane mixed with a winter stuff.
Oh,
so. Not good. Hey, I'm promoting this book.
Well, that escalated quickly. What was it, like 2 weeks ago that I told you?
You told me 2 weeks ago. I went online and just listened to this guy. And honestly, you correct me. I think you could be a liberal or you could be a Democrat.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Or a Republican. Liberal, conservative, independent. You could be a Christian. You could be an atheist and get value out of what this guy does.
Yeah. No, some of my friends at the college I go to, probably some of the more liberal people you'll meet, all big fans of
some of my more older conservative guys.
Yeah,
everyone.
There's something of value that he gives everybody, I think.
Well, it's just it's not grounded in an opinion or just.
It's typically more science and psychology that he bases everything out of.
It's grounded in because he's a trained psychologist.
You want to say who you're talking about because we're kind of going on.
I'm holding a book up, man. But we are on a podcast.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize it. I didn't know you had the camera, but yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote to Chaos. And what blew him up? What caused him to?
He had. There was a couple things. He was a professor, a psychology professor at University of Toronto.
Yeah.
And he got into the whole debate about gender pronouns and stuff. And he discussed with some of the students that vehemently disagreed with him outside of his lecture. And he had a long discussion with them, and they put that on YouTube, sort of.
The back and forth.
Right. And that, just from that video alone, it kind of blew him up. And then people went into his catalog because he posts all his lectures for free on YouTube. And people realize, like, oh, this guy's really smart in a lot of different areas.
Like, actually knows what he's like. Well,
yeah, it's not
back in my day. It wasn't one of those arguments.
It wasn't just one area. He's actually, pretty smart in a few areas. And then now it's weird because, like, now the more, like, there's another podcast to listen to. I know you like the Joe Rogan podcast. Yeah. Another podcast to listen to.
He's been on there.
He's been on there. He went on there first, and then he went on the H3 podcast, which is more of my generation's type, and he was on there, and it was really weird to see like a psychology professor that's like got a lot of experience in like faith doctrine on top of just, how humans interact with each other. Right. And he's on a podcast where, they're talking about funny videos on the internet and stuff. And it's like, he really blew up. So,
well, and of course, I'm going to expose my biases here in a little bit, but in a way, but typically, like for instance, Christopher Hitchens, intellect.
Yeah.
And you're going to because he's very political and theological, I guess.
Yeah.
And I vehemently agree with him on some things with his politics, but on his theology, I vehemently disagree. And it's so I don't know, disappointing to like someone and really respect their intellect, but then see where they arrive with that, you know what I'm saying? And this guy, I guess the reason I become, it's nice to have a, someone of this education with Dr. Peterson's education and land in an area to me that's a little more honest.
Mm-hmm. That he's a little bit more middle grounded too.
Yeah,
sort of, in a way.
I mean, and he's not out there just beating his chest saying you have to believe what I believe or anything like that. I appreciate just the integrity and the honesty that he arrives at. Everything from is there a God?
Yeah,
which I think. The thing I have against Christopher Hitchens and some of those guys is they will not give room for the other side. It's almost like, if, him and the Bill Maher's and all the atheists of the world, they just do not, they will not admit that their statement is a statement of faith. And that's what bothers me.
Yeah.
And they can have all the, I'm not disagreeing that they have reason behind their statement. I'm not. I'm just saying I wish they would just be, this is why I arrived at this.
Come at it from more of an agnostic point of view. It's like, I don't know for a fact. Like,
well, you can't, I mean,
nobody does.
Philosophy teaches us you can't prove a negative.
Yeah.
You can't say, a green ball has never bounced higher than 10 feet in history. You can't prove a negative. And so, now, of course, he's a theist. He believes that there's a God, and he also, I think he believes in more of the Judeo-Christian.
Politically, probably align more of your traditional liberalism as far as like
traditional liberal free speech,
right?
Not your not modern day,
and not today's left, but probably more of 20 years ago's left.
Well, free speech, be able to say what you want to say without big government or anyone browbeating you.
Which is basically, he's sort of libertarian now, I guess, is what it's transitioned more into.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how the political winds have swung the pendulum here in the U.S.
Yeah.
So, this show isn't about politics, but, I'm not telling anyone what to believe.
He's a good middle ground. I mean, I think everybody
I'm telling
could,
you, and so the reason I bring this up is because I got signed up. I've been using Audibles forever. But there's another company I'm using right now, and they have his book on there, the Audible version of it, and you can get a free copy. You can get a free, not a copy, but a free download of Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life by going to terrywilson3.com/free book. And you can get that. Now, what they're going to want them to do is, and the whole deal, guys, is you're going to try their service out for a month, just like Audibles does. And we have Audibles too. If you would prefer to do that, just contact us and we can show you how to get that with Audibles for free. But this new company, they've got this one on the top of their list. This is I don't know if this is a New York Times bestseller yet or not.
It probably will be. I mean,
but if it's not, it's going to be.
Yeah.
If you want the hard copy, I've got a discounted link at terrywilson3.com books, terrywilson3.com/books, terrywilson3.com/books. Since that you can go back and listen to the earliest recordings of this podcast. And, of course, I speak with my cliches, but you've heard me say it, earners are learners and leaders are readers, if you want to go to the next level.
It is a bestseller, by the way. First week it was a bestseller.
So I'm telling you guys, this is good stuff. It's a big book. It's a large book. It's a 400-page book, but it is grounded with great theological, biological, sociological, and psychological information. I mean, to me,
it's just fascinating stuff. Some of the stuff he gets into, it doesn't even have to be a political alignment, really. I think one of his videos he talked about, everybody knows Hitler's evil. Like that's everybody accepts he's
what?
Evil. Yeah, well, news to me. No, he's terrible. But he actually gets into.
I heard
why,
he was a vegan.
Yeah, he was against smoking. No, but he gets into one of his lectures is about how Hitler was even more evil than you think for a lot of reasons. People accept he's evil, but like he goes
breaks it down to why on the psychological.
He takes it like the psychological level of some of the stuff he would do and why he would do it in a certain order to make it even worse. For the Jewish base and stuff. So I mean, if you're interested, and it's not all that dark. I probably used a bad example, but there's a lot of like really interesting stuff. Why don't
we just use the worst person in history, dude?
But I'm saying he breaks down a lot of stuff from just a psychological level. That it doesn't have to be a political battle within your mind. It's like, oh, how do I align on this? Like, no, it's just you're learning stuff, and it's cool.
I tell you why I like this kind of stuff and the technology that we have. We've had libraries forever, but now I feel like I've gone to college just watching his YouTube videos. I feel like I should have a degree.
Well, think about it though. Essentially, you have those are all recordings from a college education course.
Yeah. And I ain't paid one red cent.
I pay $800 a semester for a course like that where he's just posting it online. So
yeah, I mean, that's what's so just in today's world, you can hear from the best, the brightest, the smartest with the click of a button.
Mm-hmm.
And not only just read them, hear them, watch them. You can go on YouTube, guys, and just Google Jordan Peterson, Jorda, spelled like the real Jordan, Michael Jordan, right?
Mm-hmm.
The GOAT, greatest of all time, right? Peterson, Peterson. I'm messing with Reagan because he's a LeBron James fan. So
I'm a Jordan fan.
You're a Jordan. I know it's the two are not.
Yeah. We're gonna start a mob in the. We're just gonna avoid it.
But are you willing to say that Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player of all time?
Yeah, I would say that. Yes. Legacy, Michael Jordan, the greatest.
No caveats.
Okay, well,
no stipulations.
We've
no modifiers.
There's two categories. Yeah, there's two ways to argue it. You got argue championships, and then it's not even Michael Jordan because But then if you just argue completely stats and statistics, then no, he's not there either. But for legacy, for who he was, yeah, Michael Jordan was the greatest.
I think basketball needs to adopt some of the thinking of baseball when it comes to stats. Let me give you an example. Babe Ruth, all-time home run champion.
Oh, you know how I feel about Babe Ruth. We've gotten into this before.
You don't have to love different, but what I'm saying is you have to take a snapshot of the game at the time and the statistics and all that, and then you have to
I'm consistent. I wouldn't say Babe Ruth is the greatest batter of all time because he's not. There's batters that are better than him. He just has the greatest legacy. And that's what I'm saying. Michael Jordan has the greatest legacy. He's not the greatest basketball player.
Well, here's the thing. Babe Ruth had half the time to do it in because
there's a lot of factors that Babe Ruth had going in his favor.
But that's the point. In baseball, they allow for all those factors. They do. There's asterisks beside numbers. And it says, but this is also in account with this. And all I'm saying is basketball tries to make it as a static, and Michael Jordan changed the game. That's all I'm saying.
He has the greatest legacy.
Changed society.
He had the greatest legacy.
I don't hear
here's
anybody
what we really need
I want to be like LeBron.
Why does Barry Bonds have an asterisk next to his name when everybody was on juice back then? It was an even playing field. You want to talk about just even playing field? It was an even playing field.
Dumb enough to get caught. So that's got to go.
They had to make an example. That's all it was.
All right. Poor Barry. What questions do we have?
All right. Let me pull these up real quick
before we go off into the weeds here.
Yeah, we could have an entire sports podcast. Okay. Question 1. Hi, Terry. I've been listening to your podcast, and I have a job now as a truck driver. However, I'd like to get started working with you so I could get off the road. Is that possible, and how?
Absolutely. Did they put their name?
They did not.
Okay. We have a lot of Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, truck drivers, people that are on the road work with us, and it works really well. As a matter of fact, I will tell people that are completely and totally unemployed what they can do to get a guaranteed income and start working with us so they can have that high income potential is go to work with Uber, and we can get them set up, terrywilson3.com/Uber, get them a bonus, sign-in bonus for starting to drive. And so you're in a car, you're in a truck, you're driving, And then come on as just a basic sales rep and trainer at that point. It's $597. You can finance that for as low as $19 a month. And that includes your $97 a month admin fees. Admin fees are for the hosting of your site, your software, your system, the support, everything you're going to need. So there's that. But you take the training. We show you how to drive calls into your extension in our call center. We give you an extension in our call center. And you basically just work in our call center. So you work when you want. If you're on the road that day, you're driving for 8 hours. You set your campaigns, turn them on, start driving calls, and then you're just taking calls. You need to probably, if you're driving, memorize a script. A lot of our drivers will say, hey, this is Terry. How can I help you? And they'll say, well, I'm calling you because X, Y, Z. And then you just say, okay. And then you send them to a page that's already got content on there for you. It's a web page for you. They watch the video, sell it for you. And then you just tell them, give me the professional courtesy. Call me back after you watch. It's going to take about 15 minutes. I can show you how to get started working with us for no money out of pocket up front, no cost up front. We can get you hourly and salary jobs. We can get you jobs working here. So you're basically just showing them there's various opportunities, just like I show on this podcast. This isn't right for everyone. And we would tell you, don't try to sell and don't try to recruit people into a home-based business if it's not right for them, because different mindsets for different people. And sometimes people have the right mindsets, it's just the wrong time for them. So you got to consider that. But yeah, you just work in our call center, you take calls. And here's the thing, if you talk to 25 people a day, the average is one sale out of 25 people. You talk to 25 people a day, you're going to make anywhere from $450 to $1,500. So if you get the hang of this, and I'm not saying you're going to be able to talk to 25 people a day up front. You might only be able to talk to 5 to 10 people, but then you learn how to use the system to where you're talking to a lot of people, a lot of qualified people. And we show you how to do that because you have a marketing system we're showing you how to use. And then, sky's the limit.
All right. Question 2. Terry, why would anyone pay to work? You sound honest, but this sounds like a scam to me. No offense, but I can't imagine paying someone to work.
Well, you're not paying to work. What you're paying for is a set of tools to do a type of business. If you're unemployed right now, you don't have a job, and you need to make money, I'm not going to recommend this job for you, just like I was telling the gentleman up front. Go get a job, go into a 9 to 5. But there's no career. As a matter of fact, Reagan, I went over to, I think it's what do they call this site? And I'll link this to the podcast. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And I just looked up, what's the average income for certain types of jobs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because this is not spun in a certain political manner or someone trying to sell something. This is just the government's Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Just raw data.
Just raw data. You put whatever spin you on it. So give me any job that you would perceive as a high-paying job, a career, a type in any industry. You just tell me, and I'll look up what the average income is for that. And then I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm going to look up what the average income is, and then I'm going to look up the cost to get the degree, the education you need, and the certification to do that job.
All right, let's look up dentist.
Dentist is going to be in healthcare, okay? Mm-hmm. I would imagine. So I click on, and that the occupational code for that, if you guys ever want to look that up, is in the 31,000. So you look that up, and then you just come down here, and we look for dentist right here. Dentist. Now, do you want to know? Okay, dentist right here. Just a broad term detail, because they've got orthodontist. They got, I can't even pronounce half of these. But the average medium income for a dentist.
Can I guess it?
Go ahead.
I'm going to say 70 grand a year.
You're way off.
Am I?
Now you got to keep in mind, that this is, all over the country. So a dentist here in Carolina.
I guess this could be like someone that owns their own practice as well.
Yeah. In the broadest terms.
I'm thinking of like an entry job, because I've actually looked into dentistry and what the average entry job level would be.
Yeah. What do you think it would be?
I don't know. I'm way off.
$170,000.
Ooh.
$170,000.
So if you're ever a dentist, own your own practice.
Now here's the thing. Let's go over here to the National Center for Education Statistics. And let's look up in 2017, which is the latest data they've got. What does it cost to be a dentist?
$1,005,000. Yeah, I don't know.
On average, now this is their on average, it is $38,000 a semester. Or, excuse me, a year. $38,000 a year.
I was about to say, oh, wow. That was way more expensive a semester.
And so that's a 7-year.
Oof.
So do the math. Where are we at?
A lot. We're, let me see, 38,000 times 7.
Now, the question is, why would any dentist pay to work?
The degree.
The point is, to answer the gentleman's question, your question comes from a false premise or mindset. I'm not charging you to work. As a matter of fact, you can get an hourly and salary job from us. You can get all different types. So you can go to Uber. It doesn't cost you anything. We can help you get started with Uber. But if you want to work from home and have the tools, the training, the technology you need to be successful, now you can start working from home, $266,000 to make $170,000 a year. Now, hey, don't take a salary for, and here's the thing, that was the average of people that's been in the business forever to people, and it's all over the country. If you're in a part of the country where the income wage is way down and you're just starting out, you're not going to make $170,000. You might make, $70,000 starting out, but your fixed cost,
right?
And that doesn't go into, the cost you're going to have to pay for liability. And I'm not talking people out of it. There's a lot of money to be made in any form of medicine.
Right.
We know that. But you got to consider the cost. And if that's your passion, go do it. I mean, I think you should. All I'm trying to do is illustrate, I don't know, and you tell me, you correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know of anything that you can do that's going to be a job that's sort of like, it's not just a job, it's a career. I mean, I want to do this. I love to do this. Even if you're doing, let's say, for instance, you're called to be a pastor.
Well, I was about to say, even if it's not something considered a career, like when I worked at Chick-fil-A for a couple of years. I had to buy, I think I spent like $100 just within my first week because I had to buy my shoes. Those were like $80, and you have to buy a specific brand of shoes from this specific company because they have like a liability deal if you slip and fall. There's the pants, there's the shirt, there's your badge, Well, and that's an entry-level job. I mean, I'm sure the same happens if you go to McDonald's or you go to anywhere. There's an entry fee, essentially.
Well, what I tell our reps, and because the question the gentleman just asked, I totally get it.
It's a valid question.
It's a valid question
because this is software, and most people,
they're like, well, why am I having to pay you if I'm?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you don't. You can do something. We've got ways of getting started with us. You can just be a sales rep, sales affiliate, which you have the resale rights of our system. The reason we encourage people to become a member is because more statistics. Forbes says 98% of home-based businesses fail.
Right.
Because if you don't have enough, and the reason why so many people are skittish about these work-from-home jobs or job opportunities is a lot of them have got involved with a network marketing business or multi-level marketing business. Not against those at all, but they got involved with them and were not statistically, they're not successful. If you have been successful in network marketing, MLMs, or any direct sales home-based business, you are the 2 percentile. You are the exception, not the norm. Now, that's just a reality.
Yeah.
And so when we talk to people about becoming an entrepreneur, when we talk to people about developing a lifestyle to where you can sleep till noon, get up, answer a few emails, drink your bullet coffee, and make more than a lot of doctors, it just sounds foreign to them. It sounds like this is a scam. The gentleman, I totally understand. And so for my reps that are listening, that's the objection you're always going to run against if you're selling TW3, if you're selling anything else. What you have to do is frame the argument and frame the discussion in the proper context. The proper context is 1, you don't have to pay. Number 2, the reason you would want to pay in this particular instance is because, you can start as a sales affiliate, just like you could start other business that you actually had to pay. The problem is you're not going to be successful statistically. That's just a reality. Unless you get the tools, the training, the technology to be successful. That's the reality. Because where's your leads going to come from? Who are you going to speak to? The reason why a lot of people don't like home-based businesses is because the idea of pestering friends is just,
it's a joy to me. That's why I don't have friends.
Well, maybe for some personality types, yeah, give me some thrill pill, lotion, or potion. I can go sign people because I want to pester everybody I know. But for the average person,
sign this. Yeah, sign this. Sign this.
For the average person, is a very unattractive proposition.
Question 3: how long have you been doing this, and what has been the results for your employees?
Started this in 2010, July of 2010. So we're going on 9.5, almost 10 years. Our affiliate side is basically the same statistics nationwide because, yeah, you've got a product. And see, that's the other thing people don't understand. You can get involved in insurance, real estate. You have to pay to get licensed, credentialed. You can get signed up as a truck broker, freight broker with us. But all of those, you have to be licensed by the state, and you have to take the training. You have to pay to do, quote unquote, those jobs. So that mindset is just amazing to me. If you want to do those, but then you come out and you've got this insurance license, you got this real estate license, you got whatever credentialing. You don't have, okay, who do you sell to? You either have to go out and buy leads, or you have to do something. The reason this business has been successful, our affiliates get the success they get. If they're great salespeople, they're going to. The reason why the average Joe can come on here and do this is because we put them in a situation and give them a system and software where they don't have to be great marketers. They don't have to be great salespeople. If they'll just use the tools the way we show them, it drives the leads into them. And then if they've got another business, insurance, real estate, direct sales, they're photographers, they're whatever, they got a service, they're grass cutter, whatever you do, you can then use the system to generate leads for your other business and start secondary and third and fourth. And I got 15 streams of income. And that's the way you do it because, at some points of the year, this particular business is going to get soft because it's seasonal. So been doing it that long. And the question is, I've been doing it almost 10 years, A rating with Better Business Bureau, not being a member. Of course, I say that all the time. I know I'm being salty, hush. But we've had 82 point some odd percent retention rate in my personal business. So that tells you people that onboard with us find some level of success. Not all of them are millionaires. Some of them it takes a while to get going with us. Some of them it takes a week. Some of them it takes a month.
Some of them don't.
Some of them don't.
Yeah.
But I would tell you, everyone who doesn't is because they quit for whatever reason. I'm not saying it wasn't a justified reason.
Right.
I'm not saying that. So if you're a former member, I'm not beating up on you because I realize this is a business and it costs to run a business. But the resignation was produced before results came in. You can't produce results if you quit. And you will, statistically speaking, matter of fact, we offer a 90-day money-made guarantee. You will produce results if you do it the way we show you, in a manner we show you, driving the amount of traffic and activity the way we show you. It's just a numbers game. But that doesn't mean everybody that's on board, but more people than not have. So that's just a decision you have to make, because we make no bones about it. You are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. I mean, we help you, but at the end of the day,
that's the other thing. I'd say, I'd feel like it's fair to say like 60 or 70% of people that when they do quit, I normally get an email within the next couple months asking to join back because they've been contacted about old ads, and it's like it starts producing like I got to get back on board in this because people want to sign up, they want to make money.
What happens?
That's not every person, but that I'd say a good 60 or 70% because I always
the people that quit that don't make results. And you tell me, because you deal with service more than I do, but they come in hot and heavy in this business. I mean, hot and heavy. They're motivated. They're inspired.
Which is good.
Which is a great thing. And they work hard their first 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
They don't get results. The people, I'm talking about specifically the people, they don't get results. They start backing their activity down because the discouragement starts rising.
Right.
The encouragement has come down, the discouragement has gone up.
Right.
As discouragement rises.
To the point where they're just not doing it anymore.
To the point they're not doing it anymore, and then they finally quit.
Right, they quit.
And then, like you said, 2-3 months later, all of that activity that those first 2 weeks of being totally motivated created, it starts coming back in. Hey, I'm ready to do something. Hey, because in our system, they're piping all these people in our system. Our system is sending out responses.
As they put their email out there, they put their extension out there, their number out there.
It's dripping. It's dripping on them. It's dripping on them.
Which makes you think, had they stayed at that same level of intensity, I mean, you could build a base, basically, of building your entire business around the first couple months of just, and then.
Well, I mean, traffic. I've said this, and I make no bones about it. I would say half of my personal business, because I don't write a lot of personal business because I'm busy managing the business and creating content now. But half of my personal business comes off of orphan sales.
Right.
Just, hey, I was talking to Joe Schmo. I can't get a hold of him now. And I keep getting these emails from you in your system, and I'm ready to do something. Do you know where Joe Schmo is?
Right.
And we say Joe Schmo is no longer, but we'd love to help you if you're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. And
if Joe Schmo just quit, we'll give the courtesy.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe Schmo, do you want to get back involved because you're about to lose $1,500?
But more often than not, they're the ones contacting us like, hey, we had somebody. I need to get back on board with this. I know I'm not active, but let me get back up in the system.
So I've never seen someone win a race, guys. Yeah. I mean, you've got to be determined to, I love that. There's another book by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. Have you ever read that book?
Mm-mm.
His contention is Apple Computer and all these major brands that are so successful in our modern day world are successful because the brains behind it, the inventor, the person that birthed this company into being, in this example, Steve Jobs, is because they always started with why rather than what. And what he means by that is the reason why Apple was able to overtake Microsoft in the late 90s and all through the 2000s and as soon as Steve Jobs came out with that iPod, it sort of set them on a course of, and up until that point you were too young, but Microsoft was king dingling. I mean, everybody, if you didn't have Windows and you didn't have, but Microsoft started with what? This is what we do. This is what we build. This is what and how. This is how Windows works. This is what it is. This is what. Jobs was right opposite. This is why we build these. Why we build our products this way is because we want a sophisticated machine that is easy to use for that graphic designer. It's easier to use for that musician. Why we do this. Why we do this. Why we do this. And he uses that example. Apple's the one that's I can think of the best here. But he's saying anybody, if you'll always start with why, then down in the downturns of your company and your business or the pursuit of that goal, he uses it for weight loss. If you pursue good health with, this is what I do. I get up at 6 a.m. and I go to the gym. This is what I eat. This is how I'm going to lose weight. You will always fail.
Yeah.
If you start with, this is why, because I need to feel better. This is why, because I have a family. This is why, because blah, blah. And by the way, I'm down 30 pounds, 32 pounds now, using the keto
diet.
The keto diet.
What did you make the other night that wasn't good?
What did I make the other night?
Made like bread or something.
You didn't like that?
I didn't try it, but you said it was awful.
Oh, that's just because my mix was off. But that's the keto bread. It's basically coconut flour, eggs, salt, and season with a little.
It took you like an hour to make it.
Well, that's because I'm hunting and pecking and trying to, because it was a new recipe that I was trying.
Gotcha.
And I wanted something with more of the texture of bread, and it came out.
I wanted. It's a fancy word. I wanted bread.
Yeah,
I wanted the texture and consistency of bread with the flavoring of bread, but no bread.
But not be bread.
But no bread.
But no bread. Exactly. And it came out more. It came out cornbread.
Oh, well,
but it wasn't bad. I mean, I ate half of it.
Isn't that though the definition of a vegan? Which I was vegan for a while too, so I'm not trying to offend anybody that's vegan, but that is literally the definition of it. I want I want something that tastes like chicken, looks like chicken, smells like chicken, and I can put it on tacos, but I don't want chicken. Yeah, it's got to be it's pretty much the exact same thing.
Pretty much, yeah. But hey, I'm gonna tell you, out of everything I've tried, dude, this is because we go out to eat, all the time. I don't think anybody in this house has suffered going through a quote unquote meal of mine.
Everybody isn't the military diet or the cabbage soup.
All it is I eat my greens, stay away from sugars, and it's not a no carb. It's just a very low carb. I think it's 8 grams of.
That's what LeBron James does. No joke.
Well, he might be the greatest of all time with diet.
That might be it.
I wished he could translate that over into his basketball game, but
did you see his new milestone?
Yeah, I know. He's having a time. But yeah, TerryWilson3.com/keto if you want some recipes and stuff like that, and understand how, if you're a guy out there, and because you see what I do. I sit here at this desk all day and work and develop content and blog and podcast and do coaching sessions and all that, and so it's a very sedentary type lifestyle while a ball game of some sort. So
it's an office job.
I need to get more active.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I feel like getting more active now.
That's good.
My juice is, I actually want to go and walk and run. So I got up pretty heavy there for a while. But TerryWilson3.com/keto if you want a way that you can lose weight easy.
Got a question number 4. Terry, I have no money and I can't go into an office job because of my family situation. I have to work from home. What do you suggest? Is there anything legit for me that would give me a chance at making money?
Yeah, there's several legit jobs. Now, they're not guaranteed jobs. That's the problem. Most people, the only way...
What do you mean by guaranteed jobs?
A guaranteed job is you go in the office, and because of your presence there...
9 to 5.
You are going to get paid regardless of what you produce. Now, they're going to... and you might not stay on that job if you don't produce a minimum result. But there's no way to manage people at home without putting some sort of production-based incentive in front of them. In other words, hey, you can be at home all day, but if you don't produce something, you're not going to make anything. So every work-from-home job is going to have some sort of... They're not going to pay you just to be at home.
Unfortunately.
It's a shame. But there are jobs that you can start at home that doesn't cost a lot of money to get started, if any. Number one, you can become a sales affiliate of ours. Here's the numbers. 98% of people... struggle with that because where do you get your leads? Now, here's the thing. We help our sales affiliates. If you are motivated, you're inspired, you want to do this, work with your recruiter. He can, at a wholesale rate, give you some leads so you don't have to cold call. So call your recruiter and trainer, get on board with us, work with one of our recruiters and trainers, tell them you want to buy some leads from them. It might cost you $35, but they get $45 or whatever it's going to cost you, but they can send you out 25, 30 leads. And get you going. Now, you got to be a salesperson to do that, okay? What if you're not a salesperson? There's other jobs you can do. There's social media jobs. You can go to SM Jobs, TerryWilson3.com/SM Jobs. Those are social media jobs. These are people that will pay you to post things on social media. Believe it or not, Reagan, they're older guys like your dad that don't know how to post an ad on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, or Twitter, or Snapchat, or fill in the blank. If you know how to use social media in the most moderate sense, you can, say for instance, there's a local insurance guy in your area. He's a professional. I got you muted if you need to sneeze.
No.
I should have muted my mic a minute ago. But they will pay you to post jobs. Or not jobs, but ads to sell their insurance, to sell their real estate, to sell their whatever grass cutting business or whatever. It could be anything. You can go to TerryWilson3.com/SM as in social media jobs. But there's a cost. There's going to be a $5, $10, $25, $35 cost for that to get signed up with them, and they put you in front of the people that are paying them because it's basically an agency that's got people doing that. Hold 1 second. So we have that. I tell you, this is the noisiest home studio sometimes.
This happens when you don't have a door and it's just a Open floor plan.
Don't have a door on my office yet, and it's open floor plan. So we have to struggle through that sometimes. But our kids also have to eat, so we can't fuss at them too much. So we've got that. You also have, this person said they had to be at home. Is that correct? So I was going to say Uber's free. We have a freight brokering job. You can go to my site, terrywilson3.com, and go into jobs. Look at the freight brokering, but you have to be licensed to do that. But it is a work from home job. It's $97 to get licensed. The long of the short for her is it's going to cost her something. It's either going to cost her sweat equity. She's cold calling. She's doing something, and she's paying. That's what she's paying, and just a lot of effort. Mm-hmm. Or she's going to pay to get leads to her and sell, or she's going to pay for tools to do other types of jobs. There's no such thing as absolutely having to not pay anything or provide an extra effort and be able to work from home. It's just not there. It's just not there. So, don't get disappointed when it don't happen. It's just not there. Now, if you said, Terry, I just need a job, you can go to terrywilson3.com/hourly, terrywilson3.com/hourly, and we have hourly jobs, but those are going to work type jobs.
That was the last question.
Last question. Good stuff. Guys, thanks for coming out tonight. I don't know how long we've gone here. Do you know? I don't even know when we started, but we appreciate
about an hour.
About an hour. Okay. Well, I hope we brought value. Listen, if you've got questions about how to work from home, or you've got a job and you're trying to get leads, we work with insurance guys, real estate guys, people in direct sales, all that, and need to know how to generate leads. We'd be more than happy to help you. You can go over to terrywilson3.com/contact, send us an email, and we'd be more than happy. You can also post questions under this particular video that's going to be on our website later on. This is episode 309. You can just go to terrywilson3.com, go in the top right-hand corner in the search bar, and click on 309. It'll pull this episode up once it's published. It takes usually about 24 hours to get it out. But we've got that. If you would like to have a question of yours answered on this show, all you have to do is send it in to terrywilson3.com/contact. If we pick your question and you're on the show, we offer prizes as well. If you've heard this on YouTube or you've seen this video on our Facebook page, you can also post questions under the video, and we'll try to get to you as well there. If it didn't get on the show, we'll try to answer your questions as well. If you would like alerts to when our next live podcast is so that you can get your questions in, just go to terrywilson3.com/live podcast, terrywilson3.com/live podcast. And finally, Reagan, we talked about what it costs to start a business, and we talked about what it costs to start in any career path. You brought up dentistry, there's attorneys, there's all kinds of stuff. Here's the thing I would pose to you guys. You don't have to spend that kind of money to make that kind of money. You can get our elite package for as little as $119. $119 would afford you all the tools, the training, the technology you would need. And if you're an elite member, we will invite you free of charge to come to our March 29th, 30th, and 31st Elite Membership Conference here in Greenville, South Carolina at the Hilton. And it starts Thursday. A lot of people members were asking, what time does it start? It's 9 a.m. Thursday morning. It goes to 5 p.m. and then 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Friday, and then 9 to 12 on Saturday. We're not going to be just nonstop classroom. I'm not going to wear you out. We're going to be the times of networking, times of one-on-one coaching. There are going to be some public presentations and stuff like that, but it's not going to be just a nonstop. You sit there and listen, take notes. It's not that. And, there'll be some of that, but there's also networking time. There's times to get together one-on-one. Me, Reagan, and a couple other people will be there to help you to, develop what it is. What do you want to do? What are you good at? What are your passions? And we'll show you how to put a business model around that. But if you want to be there, you have to be an elite member. And the way you become an elite member is go to terrywilson3.com and get signed up as an elite member. And you can finance our package. It's a $3,000 package, okay? A $3,000 investment in yourself to be able to make $150,000, $250,000, $300,000, $500,000 a year or more. But if that's the kind of money you want to make, you're going to have that. You can't just start practicing dentistry. You can't just go up and start arguing in a courtroom. You can't do anything that's a professional job without being certified. You can't be an insurance agent. You can't just go out and peddle some term life product. As a good old boy, without paying a few hundred, several $1,000s to get the credit. So if you want something, but the difference here, guys, if you go into insurance, you go into real estate, you go into whatever, those are businesses that you have to wrap yourself around. In this business, you wrap the business around you. Someone sent me a text a while ago asking about private label stuff. TW3 is the ultimate private label type business, because once you have this, you have your own blog, you brand it as your name. It's not TW3 anymore. It's, Joe Schmo's lead gen company, or whatever you want to call it. Or it's Joe Schmo's voice podcast company, or it's Joe Schmo's coaching, and whatever. You can go into any industry you want using these tools, and you can brand it any way you want. But you've got to have the tools to do that, and that's what we want to offer you. But next week will be the last week you can get registered and become an elite member to get into this conference. So if you want to do that for such a time as this, do it now. Until next time, this is Terry Wilson with TerryWilson3.com.
Hey, remember, if you want to go to the next level, you have to grow to the next level. And that's why I want to give you a free copy of my new book, You Are Worth More. Go to TerryWilson3.com/worthmore now. Thank you for listening to our show today at TerryWilson3.com. If you would like more information on how we can take your money, your business, and your life to the next level, then please visit us online at TerryWilson3.com or call 800-673-1728.
Man, it's a great system here. This is good stuff here. I wish I found this company 10 years ago.